The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tucker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hi.
Hey, Peg.
Good to see you. He's back, pianist Harry Mayronne, here to tell us about the 4th annual tribute to German playwright and poet Bertolt Brecht.
Yes.
Hello, good
Hi.
to see you.
So excited to be back in the new studio.
We're thrilled, and he's going to be performing a little bit later with actor Chris Wecklein. Tonight, we're just so excited that you're here. Thank you.
Well, so am I. Thank you.
Thanks. Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Good to see you. And making her Steppin Out debut, Rory O'Neill Schmitt, co-author of the new book, Edgar Degas in New Orleans, in time for the 150th anniversary of the famous French Impressionist's visit to his cousins in New Orleans. And you did the book with your mama, Rosary O'Neill, huh?
Yeah,
oh,
so
wonderful.
happy to be here. Thank you, Peggy.
So glad you're here. Hello. Poppy, we have something very sweet to celebrate.
Oh, today is a very big day. It's the first ever National Heavenly Hash Day. And for those of you who don't know, it comes 2 ways. The blue is milk chocolate, the black is the dark chocolate. And Heavenly Hash is really a bit of a little miracle from Elmer's, of course, our friends in Ponchatoula. They acquired the recipe 100 years ago, so this is their centennial. And it's amazing, but that fabulous marshmallow filling, it really is as special as we think it is. That whole special process takes 2 days to each one of the eggs. Now, Easter is April 9th, and I want to recommend to everyone, eat them now. Eat them as quickly as you can. They probably won't be in the stores until after Valentine's, because they have a big Valentine's business.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 16 million hearts are ready to go.
16 million hearts. Dear
all around the country.
God. So anyway, we're going to take a trip from Ponchatoula all the way to Africa, because I had the loveliest meal, takeout meal from Nindi's African Cuisine, which is a new spot on Martin Luther King. It's between Aretha Castle Haley and Claiborne. Queen Nindi, who is the proprietor, the cook, all of that stuff, she cooks the most delicious home-style Senegalese food from Niger, Ghana, and even Jamaica. She's got great curried goat. But there is a whole fried fish with palm oil. They have an okra soup that's like our gumbo. That whole fried fish, fabulous. And there's lots of snacks that you can pick up. She has fantastic meat pies that also come seafood and plantains and yassa chicken and dibi lamb. There's a Senegalese soup. Have it if you go, because it is full of all sorts of meats and it's rich. It's delicious. So go see my friend Queen at Nindi's. It is yummy food and a bargain, particularly if you've been eating some of the pricier African food, which there's plenty of in town now. But another sweet place that I dearly love, the Bakery Bar. And of course, the Bakery Bar right there on Annunciation Street near the bridge, that is baker Charlotte McGee and her partner, Charles Mary. Peggy, The Cafe Brûlot Dobosh cake is out of this world. That's brand new there. They also have brand new a king cake dobosh that is lovely. Wait till you see that king cake baby kind of waving to us from the center of the cake. But remember, the name is also bar. So there are inventive cocktails. In particularly, they've got some special things for Valentine's Day. Great idea for a place to go for Valentine's. That's the Party of One, the name of that cocktail. There's salmon toast for two, and they are there every day from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. Make your Valentine's reservations now, because it's a little place and it's going to sell out. But remember, Valentine's Day is coming during Mardi Gras this year. And I have a great idea. Our friends at Jack Rose at the Pontchartrain Hotel is hosting what they're calling Galentine Gras. So get your girlfriends together on Saturday, January 11th from 11 to 2. There's a special brunch. Did you see that glitter fried chicken? There is a mile-high Mardi Gras pie. The parades will be going by on St. Charles that day. There will be an Electra Cosmetics glitter bar, so you can get all done up to go out to the parade. Floral temporary tattoos will be there from Lush Magnolias, and of course, they've got a special Valentine's menu on February 14th, 3 courses. But make your Valentine's reservations now, folks, because they're going to go fast.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Poppy. And Rory, my goodness, Degas, Edgar Degas, one of the most famous artists in the world, spent a piece of time here, all because of relatives, huh?
Yes, yes. So I'm really happy to be here today, Peggy, to talk to you a little bit about the book, Edgar Degas in New Orleans, that I wrote actually with my mom, who you know
yes,
for many years.
We're Southern rep. We all certainly know her well.
Yes, Rosary O'Neill. And so she has been studying this topic for over 20 years, had about 5 Fulbrights to Paris. She and I are worked on this book together and wrote it together, really researched. My background is art history and art education. And so I was really curious because, you know, studying art, I didn't know that Degas' mom was actually from New Orleans, that she was born in New Orleans, and so that makes him half American. And without his mom, we wouldn't have Edgar Degas. So the book is really about those 6 special months that he spent with his cousins and his uncle.
Now, this photograph amazes me because from what you're saying, it was probably taken here.
Yes, it was. Now, the original is lost, unfortunately, but it's believed that this photograph was taken shortly after he arrived in October of 1872. Yeah.
And living with his cousins on Esplanade, and many cousins, and the house, the Degas house, David Villaruby has done a great job of renovating it and keeping it going, which I'm sure is very expensive. But you can actually see reproductions inside of some of the paintings that were painted there as well.
Yes, it's a beautiful house.
And this one's probably one of the most famous, isn't it?
This, I think, for New Orleanians, this is the one maybe most dear to our hearts because it's the only painting he did in New Orleans that actually is still here, and it's on display at the New Orleans Museum of Art. And this is of his cousin Estelle, his first cousin, whom his brother married. So they're very close family, but Estelle Mousson, who actually went blind, completely blind. And as you know, with Edgar Degas, he also started losing his vision, and he had to paint indoors in New Orleans because the sun here was too fierce for his eyes.
And of course, her father was very much a part of the cotton business in New Orleans.
Yes, yes. So her father, Michel Mousson, and this famous cotton office painting was actually done here. He sketched it out and he finished it here and then brought it back to France to work on it more and sold it to a person who owned a cotton office in England, actually. But it's actually one of his first masterpieces. So it's exhibited in the city of Pau in France right now.
And folks can come and visit and hopefully buy some books on Saturday at Barnes & Noble. Yes. My goodness, Rory, I believe your mom did it in a play based on Degas New Orleans a few years back.
Yes, she did.
In reading the book, though, I'm just, you're filled with some sadness, too, because poor Estelle, Renee, so she was already a widow, okay, because her husband dies in the war, who's a cousin to Jefferson Davis in the Civil War. She has a baby. She is suddenly a widow with this baby. And then Renee, who is a cousin, a few years later, Renee Degas, they get married, have 5 children. And he abandons her?
Yes, with the next door neighbor. Pretty awful. And they shared a courtyard, so there's some belief that he could easily go back and forth, but he left and he abandoned, and it is terrible because he left his children behind.
And of course, Michel Musson, my understanding is that he is understandably so upset, he changes the children's name.
Yes, well, he was worried that his daughter was going to lose custody of her children because she was a widow, she was blind, and their family was so really humiliated and shamed and sorrowful that they weren't even allowed to say the Degas name around him. So they did legally change their name to Musson. But Estelle made sure that her children know what their heritage was. So,
incredible. And also later on, turns out that their dad remarries this woman, and they have children, and they get to meet years later. So I mean, that is incredible.
Yes,
didn't even know about each other.
No, well, the American children knew about the French children, but after René died, René had actually inherited half of Edgar Degas' estate. So several paintings, a lot of wealth there, and his French children and American children actually had to split his wealth when he had passed. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, and the book is available at all local bookstores and online at Amazon, but Barnes & Noble, check it out.
Barnes & Noble Saturday. We'll be there for a signing. We'd love to see friends and Metrorail veterans.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are so excited because it's Brecht Fest, or it will be very soon. And Harry, you are part of it, quite the crew who's making it happen. Explain who Brecht was, just in case. Okay.
Bertolt Brecht was a very renowned German poet and playwright who, if you hear the name and you don't know, and you think who, if you know the song, Alabama Song, which was recorded by Jim Morrison and the Doors, or Mac the Knife, then you have some knowledge of Brecht, because those two songs came from two of his earliest shows with composer Kurt Weill, Three Penny Opera and Mahagoni. Brecht Fest is a celebration of music, poetry, and other things. And we're so excited because Sarah Brecht, who is the granddaughter of Bertolt Brecht, she came to the first performance. Zelia, who runs the Always Lounge, said, I saw there was a Brecht on the books, and I asked any relation. She said, yes, granddaughter. And so she lives here part of the year, and she's a fabulously talented painter and artist, and so she's involved with this.
That's really incredible, and it's quite a grouping. And we should point out a few: Bremner Duthie, David Simons, who is really kind of a co-creator.
Yes, David Simmons is the person who made this happen. He came up with the idea of Brecht Fest in New Orleans because that name has been used around the world, and I came on board. So he and I, it's his baby, but I have been working closely with him.
And Donald Lewis is going to be there too.
Yes.
I mean, it's a long list. That's great. But before we go any further, though, we're so excited because Chris Wecklein came by earlier.
The song, yes.
Earlier today.
The song I set a piece of Brecht to music.
Yes,
is what
and
it
we
is.
should say this. It's called the Ballad.
The Ballad of the Button from the Rundköpfe und die Spitzköpfe.
So this was a point that you said to music. We love that. Okay. And so very kindly, and you are performing. Let's take a look of Ballad of the Button with Chris Wecklein.
If a bent old man comes by, dares to ask although he's shy, if the prettiest girl will love him well, I reply, how can you ever tell? Then I grab a button from his coat and cry, let's ask Fortune, Fortune will not lie. We'll soon know. If the button comes up heads, you may be sure she never weds you. All you get is grief and woe. Let's see if Fortune's on your side. And I toss it up and say, afraid not. If you say but both sides of the button are the same, say aye, they're all you've got. And I tell you, luck deserted you at birth, for there's no way if you try it. Loving ain't for free down here on earth. If you must have love, you'll have to buy it. If a foolish man comes by, asks me gazing at the sky, will his brother ever pay his debt? I reply, I wouldn't care to bet. Then I grab a button from his coat and cry, let's ask fortune. Fortune will not lie. We'll soon know. If the button comes up heads, you may be certain he'll forget you, and you'll never get what's owed. Let's see if luck is on your side. Toss it up and say, afraid not. If you stay but both sides of the button are the same, say, aye, there are ya got. And I tell them luck deserted you at birth, for there's no way if you try it. Loving ain't for free down here on earth. If you must have love, you'll have to buy it. Right or wrong, you're going to have to buy it.
That's a light, happy little tune.
It's one of the less cynical of
Yes,
Brecht.
I got it.
It cracked me up when you asked if is it family friendly. It's like maybe the only one that is.
So Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday,
always lounge.
8:30. Yes.
Very, very exciting. That's a nice space too. That's a very nice space at the Always Lounge where they have.
It's perfect.
It's
yes.
just, you know.
And,
Harry, I just wanted to ask who your friend is. Okay.
This
okay.
is
okay.
Mr.
Well, we're going to come back and see you because this other talent that you have, of course, is that you are a puppeteer.
Yes, this is Brecht, with whom I have performed at the Berliner Ensemble in Berlin with Nina Hagen. I think I was on here a few years ago, and I have to show his shoes. I found them on Decatur Street. I thought they were perfect.
And we ain't kidding.
And,
you made that.
Yes, I made this. I created this.
You also have made, well, you've made many, but you've made a Tennessee Williams, which
Yes.
we need to see.
Yes,
okay.
he asked when are you going to call him?
Oh, good.
So when's Peggy going to call me?
Okay. And technically, just real quick, he is a marionette because he has strings.
Yes, he's a puppet. They're all
They're all
animated
puppets.
dolls are all puppets.
Right.
Marionettes are strings. That's,
Strings,
yeah, he's a marionette, and let's see. Ja, ich bin eine Marionette.
Thank you very much, though. I'm glad you brought your friend too. You know,
Oh,
but
thank you.
we're looking forward to this.
Thank you.
Harry. It's great. And on to Alan. Poor Alan.
Okay,
You
back
went
from
back
New
to
York. Yes,
again?
yes. But
Poor
I had a lot of shows that I've seen in the meantime. And the first one I want to start talking about is a very important one. I think it's a great professional production put on by Crescent City Stage. Molly Smith Metzler's Cry It Out. It only runs for a few more performances between now and I believe February the 9th. But Elizabeth Newcomer, who's a local actor and also, of course, one of the founding artistic directors, she leads a cast of 4 actors, really remarkable. Liz, as I've called her for most of her life, I guess, she's a standout as Jessie, an attorney on maternity leave raising her baby Allison, hoping to have a significant bonding time as she's breastfeeding and caring for her. But also quite remarkable in this piece is Tinia Intriago. She's Tina, raising her child as well, having a newborn. And again, the two of them get together and they bond together, as if you would say. They share the space again together. Again, they're not as well off as Allison is. She's an attorney, but they're trying to make it happen. Anyway, while Tina and Jessie may have some money concerns from their being basically out of work. Adrienne, who you can see right there, is portrayed by Mary Thornton. She seems to really be disconnected from her baby, and unlike the other two moms, a lot of trouble bonding. There are a lot of issues that are brought up in this piece. Literally, how moms feel guilty from having to put their babies into training for sleep, if you will, and they have to cry it out, if you will. In other words, letting the babies kind of get accustomed to the fact that nobody's going to help them and take care of them, and they feel abandoned. And again, LeBarton Thornton, no relation to Mary, by the way, there you see on the left, plays her character's husband and the father to baby Livia. He's hoping to get Jessie and Lena to connect to Adrienne, but there's a lot more going on there than meets the eye, a lot of pressures of being a working mother, etc. There's a shot I took last night with Mary Thornton and Elizabeth Newcomer. There they are. Liz is also, as I mentioned, the founding artistic director. This is Jana Mastecki's beautiful direction. Check it out. Cry It Out by Molly Smith Metzler. Now, in appreciation for Black History Month, the Jefferson Performing Arts Society is presenting Sisters the Musical. This is the story of the American Black female experience as told by members of a family as they recall their own experience. And the cast is led by Kyanne Davis. Now, she's the one who directed Sweet Potato Queens not too long ago in the fall. She plays Simone, an accomplished doctorate holder who, along with her other family members, are basically cleaning out the attic, strewn with boxes after the funeral. Well, Jaquel Cochran, as Roberta, is a woman with attitude. She sings some of the best songs by Billie Holiday, Bessie Smith, and also the great R&B artist Barbara Lewis. Simone's daughter, Tamika, is played by Nicole Washington. Tamika represents the new generation, the people who are taking on, if you will, a lot more power in play and doing a lot of things that maybe people take for granted now. She's really into hip-hop and rap. And then there's Melissa McKenzie, who plays Heather. Now, Heather has married into the family, and one of her best moments is Janice Ian's Society's Child, in which they talk about racial intolerance. Danielle Edinburgh Wilson plays Gloria. Now, this lady has a fabulous 4-octave range, and she is at home with gospel tunes like you would not believe, Oh Happy Day, Precious Lord, as well as Beyonce's Single Ladies. And by the time that this intermission 90-minute piece ends, and we're doing We Are Family, everybody's up rising along and singing along with it. There's some very teachable moments in it. The book is a little bit on the light side, I would say, not like Fly was last year, but you know, you got some great female singers, the Supremes, Patti LaBelle, Dionne Warwick, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, and Mary J. Blige, just to name a few. So check it out, Sisters, playing at JPAS. Also for Black History Month, I want to remind everybody that last year's JPAS production, Fly, is now on at the World War II Museum at BB Stage Door Canteen, directed by the same director, Tommy Myrick. They have cut it down a little bit, but it's going to be, again, there. You can see it this weekend, and then on the 9th, and then back on after Mardi Gras. It's going to check that out as well. Another show I saw this weekend was Goat in the Road's production of Role Play, and I want to just let everybody know this is a free show. You can check it out. It's based on a Tulane study of sexuality that was released in 2019. They got together with Goat in the Road, and they had all these different impressions. They made this thing happen in 2019. This is the current cast who are on right now on the boards, and they are reprising it with updated data for the new sexuality study based on the other one. These are 2 shots from the 2019 production. It's staged exactly like the other one. I wanted everybody to see what it is, but you have to RSVP. It is free, but you gain admission only by getting an RSVP. Check that out, Role Play. Again, Goat in the Road Productions, and I have to tell you that the Goat in the Road people, Christopher Kamenstein and others from other productions like The Family Line that was just at the BK House, and of course, The Uninvited that was at the Gallier House. They're going to be on the NOLA Theater Talk Show with me coming up on this Monday in a conversation, so they'll be on there. I haven't confirmed, but I expect to have Tommy Myrick on the next Monday's show to talk about Fly. And last but not least, apparently Varla Jean Merman is very, very mad right now. She's like a volcano. She's ready to explode because she's ready to blow, people. Look at that angry red swirl. Anyway, this one is not for the kiddies, but for you adults out there, if you've never seen Varla Jean Merman in action, you're in for one wild ride. That's a Cafe Istanbul.
Thank you so much, Alan. You've been busy. Thank you. And as we approach Mardi Gras, let's focus on one crew's signature floats, the ones we see every year, the Krewe of Zulu. Hi, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde with a New Orleans Carnival Close-Up. When it comes to the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club, it's good to be king, as they say, but there's a whole hierarchy of important characters. Like the king, they are elected by a vote of the membership. The witch doctor was one of the first to be introduced in the 1920s. Following Zulu's African motif, the witch doctor has magical healing powers and helps deliver good weather for the parade. According to Zulu historian Clarence Becknell Sr., the big shot character was introduced in the 1930s. He tries to outshine the king for attention, dressing flamboyantly with his cigar and derby hat. Several other Zulu characters were introduced in the 1970s. The ambassador, Zulu's chief diplomat, the mayor, and the governor, who rules over political affairs in Zululand. There's also the province prince, And Mr. Big Stuff. He was introduced following the 1971 song of the same name by Jean Knight. In recent years, Kern Studios has designed special signature floats for each character. Look for them when Zulu rolls bright and early on Mardi Gras morning. That's our Carnival Close-Up. More to come throughout the season here on WYES, our Facebook and YouTube pages. And time for our Picks of the Week, Poppy.
At the New Orleans Culinary and Hospitality Institute over there on Lee Circle, there's a new cohort graduating, and so they celebrate with a pop-up. Say is their new pop-up. It opens tomorrow with an East Indian theme, lots of things you'll recognize like samosas and shrimp curry. 100% of the proceeds from those lunches benefits the Noki Scholarship Fund.
Right, Harry.
Wednesday, I will be continuing at the Bombay Club next week with Nancy Z from 8 till 11.
All right, very good. Alan.
Well, every Thursday night, Julie Benko steps into the coveted role of Fanny Bryce at the August Wilson Theater in New York. Again, she plays Leah Michelle's role of funny lady, a funny girl on that time. But many of the fans are flocking to the theater, and they've been talking about Julie doing the role. She is going to be doing something very special. She and her husband, Jason Yeager, who's a pianist and a musician, are going to be appearing at Birdland this coming Monday night. It's all about Mardi Gras in New Orleans, believe it or not. And she's got a mask to go with it, songs like Basin Street Blues. The live stream is $25 and can be viewed live, and then you can see it multiple times up until February the 9th.
All right, thank you, Rory.
Wonderful. Well, past Christiane Books this Sunday at 2 p.m. We'll be doing a book signing, Rosary and I. We're looking forward to seeing everybody. It's a great cafe, great shop, too, right on the beach. So
Okay,
see you there.
great, thank you. And just a reminder about the WYES Antique Showcase. That's Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go to wyes.org/events to get your ticket to bring in your favorite antique, to find out more about it, or just to attend the helpful seminars on antiques, art, and silver. Only $20 to attend those, and then there'll be wine and light bites, and the ticket price varies on how many items you also bring in there too. And there will also be many experts on hand and antique vendors. It's Foot Parade time on Friday. There's the Krewe de Bohème, and that's going through the quarter starting at 7 o'clock. Look for the Mary Antoinettes and almost 900 marchers. Their route can be found on their Facebook page. There's the Krewe de Vaux. That's the parade rolling Saturday at 6:30 p.m. with an adult-themed floats. Then there's T-Rex Parade, that is, on Sunday with their own playful take on the shoebox floats, and many of us grew up with. And then Sunday night, it's a new date and time for them. They're going to be doing Krewe Delusion, which used to follow right behind the Krewe de Vaux. Check that out at KreweDelusion.net for that parade route, because that's going to be very, very important. I love the parade. It's just really great. And just one last thing, there's a new, there's a new fragrance called Perfume de Mardi Gras. Look at that. Tijon, look at that. It just opened on Toulouse Street, and it's originally from the West Indies, and we'll tell you more about it in the next few weeks, but Tijon. So thank you all very much, and thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.